Go ahead. You got to clap now. 3, 2, 1. Ayo. Okay.
There was a piece of dust. I wasn't.
Oh, I thought you were blowing into your mic. I thought we were doing a celebratory blow into the mic.
No.
Welcome to Some Nerd Stuff. It's the best podcast on YouTube. Yeah, I think so.
JJ Redick podcast is better.
I don't know what you're talking about, and I'm going to act like it doesn't exist, and that's how reality works.
I guess so.
Today, let's see. Today, we are going to be discussing a pretty hefty topic.
That's crazy.
What does that say? I got a text message?
No.
Okay. Pretty hefty topic.
Mm-hmm.
Where with the topic of today's discussion is that is going to be in the main part of the podcast is the newest gaming generation a failure?
Of course.
And I feel like I don't know if we're gonna even be. I feel like we might be on the same side. One of us might have to play a little devil's advocate. But how you been, bro? It's been a whole week. This is our. It's been a long time since we started. We did week to week podcasts.
Yeah, I hate it.
Oh my gosh, he says he hates it, but then he goes, "Why aren't we doing a podcast? Why you keep doing the dumb cookie podcast?" Time in. Anyways, that's going to be our main topic for the first part of the podcast because Trey loves to try a new thing.
No, I don't.
What do you?
Factually incorrect.
That's factually incorrect. Scoot closer to your mic, because I can barely hear you. Now say some words.
I feel like they can see the pores on my face.
Well, I can move the camera back, but I can't hear you.
No, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying it because I'm close into the.
Why don't you guys switch microphones?
Too far into that.
He just is like talking at a really low register, and it's not picking it up. Check. You just are gonna have to be a little bit more talky. I know you want to be in your cool guy voice, but your cool guy voice is not going to get picked up, and it's just going to be half a podcast or a podcast of me just talking to myself, and no one can hear you.
That sounds cool to me.
Huh?
So that sounds cool to me.
Okay, anyways. He doesn't like to try stuff, but he also did suggest to me off camera that we should try stuff. So last week we tried some chocolates, and then we tried...
Yeah, they were absolutely horrible.
What was the other thing? Oh, yeah, we tried that cake thing. I did not like that cake thing. This week...
Was that the same episode?
Yeah, that was the same. We did 3 things.
Well, we're at 3 in a row.
So this one, I brought a drink. I don't know where it came from. It was brought to me.
It's Faygo.
It does. Faygo sounds like some type of slang. I don't know.
It's just a soda.
You heard of Faygo before?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard of this.
New York. Some
Never heard
stuff.
this song.
That's right.
Oh, I finally got the levels right. Now I can hear you.
No, I'm gonna start talking like this again.
Go ahead and open it up. And enthusiastically, because he said he doesn't want to try new things. Cheers.
It smells weird.
Yeah, it's cotton candy flavor. Oh, I cheers too hard. Oh man, it's too much sugar. It does taste good though. That's actually really good. Has a lot. It says 70% sugar. Oh no, that's carbs. 35 grams added sugar. No protein.
Yeah, no, keep that away. That should be illegal. I don't like cotton candy stuff.
Excuse me. That doesn't taste
I'll
bad.
keep it right here.
Oh, I thought you were saying take.
Well, I did, and I mean it, but it's right there. So
I took it literally.
I don't have anything else to drink, so.
I took it literally to get it away from you.
But that was absolutely horrible. I've never tried anything.
You want to try it?
Then I've wanted to not try something before. Because cotton candy artificially is gross.
Cotton candy is delicious.
Artificial flavored cotton candy is gross.
All cotton candy is artificially flavored.
Yeah,
It's
but
sugar.
if it's the same flavor without the cotton part, it's gross.
You want some fluffiness with that flavor? Is that what you're saying?
No, because normal cotton candy doesn't taste like that.
That tastes pretty close to normal
That's
cotton candy.
artificial cotton candy flavor.
Have you ever seen how cotton candy's made?
Yeah.
They put
I'm
sugar.
not talking about real cotton candy. I'm saying this is what they make cotton candy taste like the flavor.
Oh, okay.
So when they do cotton candy anything, that's what it tastes like is this, and that's not a good taste.
Oh, okay. So
I'm
you're
not
saying you
talking
don't
about
like
real
the
cotton candy.
You're talking that you don't like the artificial flavor that they make things to taste like cotton candy, but you like
It's
regular
almost
cotton
like
candy.
I said that, yes.
Yeah, but you said it all backwards and inside out.
No, I didn't. I said I don't like the artificial flavor of cotton candy. It's just like watermelon. If you eat watermelon and then try something that's watermelon
like
flavored,
Jolly Rancher watermelon.
yeah, it don't taste like that. That's
No.
not what watermelon tastes like.
That's true. That's cherry. That's a big one of cherry. Artificial cherry and regular cherry don't taste anything like each other.
I've never had a cherry before, so
Grape.
Grape. Oh yeah, grape doesn't taste anything like grape.
yeah, but those ones are just bad.
Purple
cotton
stuff?
candy is nasty.
Purple stuff.
Cotton candy tastes like
So I may have opportunity
balls.
to be bringing to get. I may have opportunity to bring different drinks. Is that what you would like? Weird drinks.
No, I'm gonna be real with you.
Then what do you? Okay, then you're gonna have to bring something as an example so I can know.
No,
what,
food is one thing. That's cool, but drinks is like I don't know. Bad food is you just spit it out. A drink is like a commitment.
X-nay on the drink. A.
Yeah, Jones,
X-nay.
all the Jones soda's not good.
Now, okay, so those.
Oh,
That's
that was
interesting. But if you make me try corn, I'm not doing it. If you bring corn or one of those super weird flavors, I'm not doing it.
You won't taste the bacon flavored
No.
soda.
No, I don't need to do that. Some things in life you don't need to do twice. The
Twice?
bacon flavored Jones soda is one of those things. Don't need to do that twice.
So now I have to interpret what he already has so I can see what to do.
Well, then why don't you just let him do it since he...
Well, you know what? I'll let him do it next week.
Well, here's the thing. It's like I didn't know if it was like a regular thing.
You told me that.
Yeah, but just because I say a lot of things to you that you don't listen to. So
I listened to you about a bunch of things. I set up the,
the
cameras
list
the
of
way you like
the list
them.
of things you haven't is longer.
That's true.
So
You have a lot of demands, though.
I don't though.
He likes
He
it.
just said the list is long, but he doesn't have a lot of
He
demands.
likes a set for his green room.
Yeah, he likes to say he likes only green M&Ms. Getting
What?
harder and harder to find.
That is not.
And he likes room temperatured water,
Both of those things are false.
Sparkling.
sparkling.
But I hate
He likes to
them.
kill his thirst with one of those. What are
No,
those?
it's actually the opposite.
What?
Still.
No,
You want it distilled?
no. I remember one time
pH water.
I just got into a telly and was super thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
Went from traveling to the telly, or to the
I don't know.
Uber to a telly. Right,
I don't know what a telly is.
it's a hotel.
Oh, okay.
And I walked in and I put my stuff down, and I'm like, I'm so thirsty, and I have this water, right? You know, the liquid death. I'm gonna take a big drink. So I put the rest of my drinks in there, keep that one out, take a huge gulp. It was sparkling water.
Oh.
It was still thirsty. Was
The
still
sparkling
thirsty.
water is for fun, but you need some flat water for a real thirst.
Yeah.
You don't need all that carbon.
Yeah, I was highly disappointed with myself after that one.
But I do like a carbonated water.
I went down to the lobby, and for my free, you got a free snack or drink, and I got a Gatorade.
Gatorade, always there to not disappoint. That should be his tagline. Are you good? Is your do-rag set? Are you
What?
doing? Okay.
People loved it.
People loved it. Let me tell you, he interpreted as us getting a lot of views on the shorts as man, they must like this do-rag.
Well, what was different?
What was different?
Exactly. What was different?
That's the one thing that
Yeah. That's
the set was different. The way that it was shot was different. The complete how we did the podcast has changed.
Nah, but the clips don't know that.
The Cookie podcast has over 1,000 views on it, so more people.
Yeah.
see this shit.
That's women. That's different. People,
Just saying, more people go to the page, so then they click on the next show.
They look at some shorts while they're there.
oh, that's not my point. My point is the people who watch the clips don't know what you changed. They just see that. And so seeing somebody like me. It's like, what's going on here? Let me see what they got to say. You know, it's more interesting.
Yeah.
You're laughing.
I'm laughing, but
it's making,
you're just right. I feel like you're saying like now there's new representation on the podcast, and all the brothers who are wearing do-rags are like, finally, I can watch this nerd podcast because there's a dude in a do-rag.
That's not at all what I'm saying. Actually, it could be the opposite, to where it's like they see the way that I'm presenting myself, and they're like, "This, what is going on here?"
Yeah,
they got this street dude on a nerd podcast. He's gonna talk about Nintendo, and so they're waiting for you to like make me.
Yeah, they're like Nintendo don't. Nintendo don't.
You know, so it could even be the opposite, but it is what it is. What I'm saying is that it drove views.
You know what? Maybe it did.
That's why we got to test it. That's why I got it back on.
Everybody leave in the comments if you really enjoyed the do-rag and it's causing you to watch more shorts. Because I'll wear a do-rag too.
No,
we'll double the do-rag for your podcast.
If you put it on, then every nigga around the country gonna take theirs off.
No, they won't. They'll be like, finally.
No, they won't.
Finally, the nerds have adopted.
I was gonna say something, but I'm not even gonna say nothing.
Okay.
That's an off-camera joke.
Off-camera jokes for later. Let's get into the main part, our main conversation. And the question:
are drugs good for you?
Are drugs good for you?
The answer is yes. For the most part.
It depends on your.
I think
mental makeup.
No, think about it. No, let's really think about it.
Okay.
There's way more.
Penicillin is great for you.
Probably 10-1 of drugs that are good for you than drugs that are bad for you. Just because just even think about all the drugs you can get at the store.
Mm-hmm.
Those are drugs, but they're good for you. So I think as a whole, if you had to pick drugs as yes or no, I think it'd be a yes.
I think a yes on drugs.
I
like Tylenol. I like ibuprofen.
Probably 3 perks tonight. Let's go. Perk 60, baby.
Some NyQuil on a rough night.
That's 320s. That shit is disgusting.
You guys don't know this, but
I should have got water.
I broke 2 mics setting up this podcast today. I'm so disappointed in myself. I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah, I don't know why you did that.
2 whole mics. That's okay though. I'll figure it out before my next show.
That's crazy.
So the question today is the newest gaming generation a failure?
The Switch is absolutely a failure.
Let me run just a few stats.
I don't even like Nintendo like that. I mean, hate Nintendo. They're just catching strays today.
I know. We're not talking about just Nintendo. We're talking about the entire generation. So, this generation, the consoles are the most overpriced that they've been.
Not true.
PlayStation came in at $499 base. Xbox came out $599 base.
Not true.
How is that not true? What are you talking about?
Because price doesn't mean overpriced.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
If you're coming from the last generation looking at the next one.
But no, that is not how that works, though.
That is how it works.
You look at this phone, and it's $1,200.
Uh-huh.
Is that
phone's
over?
not $1,200, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
Is it overpriced, or is it where it should be?
It depends on the consumer.
No, it doesn't. The product is worth that money. Now, if you can afford it, is a different question.
Not every...
But is it overpriced? No.
I got to get through some of these before you start rebuttaling, but just because the price is something does not make it the value that it should be.
No, what I'm saying is that it is... But I'm saying... I know. We're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's the value it brings.
And it may not to somebody else. So, to you, it's not. But other people in other circumstances may. So, anyways...
we're gonna have a problem because
a lot of the games that have been released for this generation are underwhelming. There have been. I'm not saying there's no good games. That's a different argument. I'm not saying that there because
just get through the points and we'll go through them.
Okay. Obviously, there was a giant problem with supply for the first few years of the generation, and then games this generation have been releasing unfinished.
Is that every point?
I have a few examples of some games not finished. Would you like to hear it?
Don't care about your examples. Is that every point?
That's every point so far.
No, I want all the points.
Okay. Microtransactions and DLC have been, for some games in certain genres, have been really crazy. Mm-hmm. And then we... and then a new trend that game makers are doing are hiding microtransactions until after the first like 4 weeks of the launch. Like Resident Evil 4, after all the reviews were in, then added microtransactions into the game that weren't there before when it was being reviewed. Okay, we go ahead and try to dismantle all those facts.
That very last point you said had the keyword for everything in it. New.
New what?
New is the keyword for everything that you just said.
Okay.
Nothing that you said is new or unique to this generation.
This generation is the first generation that you can be completely without physical copies of the games. It was started in the last generation, but now it's picked up steam, and it's basically how it's going so far.
That's for everything on that list.
Yeah.
That doesn't make it a this generation problem.
But just because it budded in the last generation, but has flourished in this one.
I wouldn't even say that, especially microtransactions.
Microtransactions have been around for a long time.
But that's what I'm saying.
But
it hasn't changed. They haven't gotten worse.
No, they have gotten worse.
Shadier. Like you're talking about.
You're telling me that? Did you even see the microtransaction situation for the Marvel Avengers?
Yeah.
If you try to buy like every single skin, you were spending.
But we had the same thing on Fallout 76 that came out in 2019. That's why that game flopped. So like it's not a new thing.
It's not a new thing.
These companies have always been trying to see how much money they can make and do this. I just think that more companies have won than lost.
Yeah, that's why they keep doing it. Yeah,
I don't think that it's a new thing. There's always going to be the times that it doesn't work out and you have a horrible game.
There's games that have a lot of microtransactions that people don't mind. Like, what is it called? What's the free-to-play one?
I think that's your key, though. I don't think you can count a free-to-play game.
Yeah. But I was just saying, people don't mind on that one. The skin, what is it called? Fortnite. I don't play it, so. But people don't mind it. People want to have 3 kinds of LeBrons and 3 kinds of Spider-Mans.
It's because it's free-to-play. And then being like, oh, it's free. It probably costs you like $160, $180 by now, but like, that's just how it is. And so going point by point, what was the first thing you said?
So you wanted all of them, now you can't remember. The first one was the systems are overpriced.
I wanted to let you finish your monologue. That's how these shows work.
These shows. This is your first time being on one of these shows.
No, it's not. And then, well, it's also hella not my first time watching one.
The consoles themselves are overpriced.
No, they're not. They're not overpriced. Like I said, a high price doesn't mean overpriced. I think they're pretty adequately priced, especially when you consider that they're selling every single console at a loss.
That's every generation and every console. They don't sell consoles to make money.
But I understand that. But that doesn't mean they're overpriced. Especially when you look at...
This point is too personal because to you, they don't seem overpriced.
But it's not. It's not about me. It's not. There's people. There's always, with anything in life, there's going to be people who can't afford it, who would spend the money on that in general, even if they can't afford it, and who wouldn't. Like, it's always going to be like that.
Yeah.
But the general thing of a shoe, like, you can look at a Jordan, I can look at a Jordan, and we can both be like, I wouldn't spend $400 on that one. But Jordan sells them for $200, and we can both be like, this combination of leather, glue, and fabric is overpriced. You make it for $2 and they sell it for $200. The only difference is I'm still gonna buy it. So you can always have that conversation. But if it's overpriced, I think objectively it's not overpriced. Now you look at, just because of the internals, what it can do and all that, you look at like the last generation PS4, Xbox One, those consoles came out 5 years outdated, right? And they released at the same dollar amount of these ones. The price consoles hasn't gone up. The original PS4 was $500. This PS5 was $500. The prices for the consoles haven't gone up in a whole generation. So I think that alone means they're not overpriced. I
gotta double check your work.
Look at, I think the PS3 came out at $500.
The PS3 came out severely overpriced. Yeah. That's why by the end of the generation, I think it was at $200 or $250.
The PS4 came out at $399 minimum. I think maybe $450. I mean the PS4.
Yeah, the original cost for the PlayStation 4 was $399.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah.
PlayStation 4?
Yes.
They need better names. I can't think of what it is. Yeah, so
yeah.
it's
The
only,
original PS4, the original cost was
So-
$399. Adjusted for inflation would be $508.
So in that whole time frame, we only went up $100 of base asking price
Yeah.
for a console that isn't as underpowered as that one was when it came out.
Yeah, but that's not you can't compare the specs to each other 10 years apart.
No, but I'm not comparing the specs to each other.
You're saying that
I'm comparing them to when the PS4 came out.
Mm-hmm.
The PS4 was already severely underpowered for that point.
I mean,
The PS5 comes out. It's obviously underpowered when you look at the things that PCs can do.
Yeah.
But it's not as big of a gap as the PS4 was. The PS4 came out years outdated.
the when the PS4 came out and PCs were ahead, but
It was severely over.
they weren't that far
Yes,
ahead
they were.
because they were not. Nobody could afford the parts on PC that could really be pushing some of the
it's
games.
the same thing right now. You can't go get. I can't. What's the highest graphics card right now? An Nvidia something.
GTX 4080 or something like
Yeah,
that, or
that's a-
5 or 5010
That's like
or something.
I think it's like a $3,000 thing.
Well, they're coming down.
A
because the
$3,000
new ones are
graphics
coming
card.
out and stuff.
Like that's still not attainable for most people. So the market hasn't changed. The price is. That's what I mean. Like it's not. I don't think it's overpriced. Now, are you going to spend that? Is a different question, because you're spending it on something. Then you get into the other points of why or why not you should make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
But is it objectively overpriced? I think the answer is no.
I think that's just the place we're going to disagree. I think they're too expensive. I think they're overpriced. And I have the Series S. Yeah, the Series S,
Mm-hmm.
only because I got it on deal from you. Mm-hmm. And then I'm still rocking my PS4, and it's
Mm-hmm.
good. There has to be something more incredible to come out on PS5 for me to like make the jump, and there hasn't been anything yet. And right now they're so dependent on that pool of players that they're still having trouble letting go of it. Because like there are a few exclusives that they did have, like Horizon was supposed to be an exclusive for PS5.
Well, this is the last year.
Theoretically, we'll see what happens when there's more PS5 owners. Obviously, they're having like really good sales. Like people are buying out. They're actually in stores now, so people have access to them. Because I don't know if you can count all the, like you can't count every PS5 sold as a player base.
Yeah,
because a
because-
lot of them were stacked.
Well, I mean, I think you can now.
You don't think anybody's still sitting on PS5s that overbought and now the market?
I mean, I
fluctuated?
think obviously there's stupid people.
Yeah.
But once they started getting once they were start being readily available, the smart people just selling.
Yeah,
at
the
a
game was
loss.
over.
You selling for $450 just to move them all. Obviously, there are some people probably still sitting on them, but I think I think all the originals are sold by now.
Okay, like the first two waves or whatever.
Yeah, I think those are all being players at this point. I doubt there's anybody
pool-
with more than 4 or 5.
The pool is still not as large. Obviously, it's not as large. The timetable manufacturing is the whole thing.
Yeah,
I'm
and I
not
think-
blaming the PS5 on that.
I think that this console generation is just going to be a little scuffed.
Yeah,
Because
it's a failure.
It's a
It's a
no,
failure.
well, it's I don't know if I'd call it a failure because we had a pandemic.
Yeah,
Like it's not like it's something where they're like, oh, we're gonna make it super limited,
I mean,
and then they didn't know the market would do what it did.
there was the same. Nintendo went through the same pandemic, and they're about to break the record for most consoles in a generation for PS2.
That's the thing. Nintendo is so far behind and crappy. They had no issue getting what they needed, whereas the PS5 and Xbox Series X, they needed.
Are you saying that they were easily able to source their products? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yes, because their product is not anything that people use now.
Yeah,
There wasn't a line for their chips and what
they were
needed.
using an old chip that they were using for those Nvidia shields that were like it was changed a little bit.
Yeah, like
So they are using they're for sure using older architecture.
they weren't
for
having to
their
compete
chipsets.
with the other consoles
for microprocessors
and TVs and graphics cards
and cars. Yeah.
for these chips. So of course they were in a better shape, but they won.
Yeah,
They won the
quote,
game.
unquote.
But even then, think about it. There were times where you couldn't get a Switch.
Yeah, there was some moments.
Yeah,
And
you
you
couldn't
know
walk
what?
in
And the
and get
only
a Switch.
switches that were available for a little bit were the freaking
The whites, and that's
the
why I had
lights.
one. Like the red box came out at the end of 2019, and that one was readily available. But once the pandemic started,
Yeah.
Just think about it. Once Animal Crossing came out, like in April, you couldn't get a Switch.
Yeah, no.
So-
Till like I think it was less than a year later, because remember those Animal Crossing Switches that like came
Yeah.
out of nowhere?
Yeah.
There was like I think it was before Christmas. There was all of a sudden there was a bunch of Animal Crossing ones.
Well, and that's the thing, because for Nintendo, it wasn't a supply issue. People just went and bought up what they were
they were
sending
buying
out.
everything.
They were sending stuff out, whereas, excuse me, Microsoft and Xbox literally weren't sending anything out because they couldn't.
So the other point was, or the next point was that games that have been released for this new generation of consoles have been underwhelming. I think
you have God of War, you have Star Wars, and you have
well, this is like
Horizon?
this is
That's
from
it?
launch to now.
That's what I'm saying though. That's the only 3 good ones I can think of.
Yeah, there's been like a lot of there's a lot of games that fell flat on their face. I don't know when that Mass Effect was Mass Effect this generation, the Andromeda, that one dropped hard. Lately, it's been really bad because we've had the Suicide Squad game didn't come out. Is that the one that got delayed?
I think so.
And then Gotham Knights came out, boring.
Saints Row.
The new Saints Row. What's it called? That Redfall game that just came out on Xbox is a complete mess, and that was supposed to be like their big tank game. Obviously, we have like for games that came out unfinished. We have. Did I already go through this list? Did I say this? Cyberpunk, obviously.
Yeah.
That was now. I guess it's playable. I don't know. I've never jumped on the bandwagon to play it. Halo Infinite released unfinished.
Yeah, they ruined that game.
They messed that whole thing up. I was most excited about getting on with my boys and playing a co-op multiplayer, and nothing. They ruined them. That's like half the people who played Halo back in the day they play online together, and they would play the campaign through together just because it's funner with 4 people. It's just an experience that they really messed up. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, just jank.
Made me sell my Switch.
Jank. I'm glad, I always go through the thing like, do I want to buy a Pokemon game? And I always like mess around with it, and then I don't do it, and then I go, oh, thank God I didn't buy a freaking Pokemon game.
Like I said, so same thing. I was in the telly, right? Nothing to do. It was like 11 o'clock at night. Nothing on TV. I don't even know how to use cable anymore, so I wasn't even really looking through the channels like that. And I was like, well, I just bought this Pokemon game. No, I got it for Christmas, right? Shout out to my grandma. Got it for Christmas.
We appreciate that you bought the game, and it's not your fault. It's the game was unfinished.
Not at all. And I go and I play it, and I'm like, okay, this is Pokemon game. I'm excited. And then they get you to the first like open level, and I'm seeing stuff load in as I'm looking at it.
Oh, pop in.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, meh. It's a Switch game. I'm playing in handheld. That's nothing crazy. And then I'm moving, just using the left stick to move. And no, pop in still. But like I said, whatever. And I'm moving through the world. And it's telling me there's a Pokemon over here to my right. So I look at it. It's like you're trying to look with 3D glasses. Like it's blurry and everything is moving. Like there's an earthquake in the game.
Oh, like jitter?
Yeah. And I'm like, what is
gosh.
going on? And mind you, I read reviews and everyone was like, well, just play handheld. It's cool that way. Like on the TV, it's not that good. Don't play it. It's too glitchy. Handheld, it's cool.
Oh, is it in theory because it drops the frame rate and everything, so it should run smoother? Is that like the idea about that?
Yeah, right. And then I'm like, okay, I go through it. I catch my first couple Pokemon, blah, blah, blah. And then there's a section where you have to go down and jump down a hill to help this Pokemon, like a little cave. I jump down and I fall through the map.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Fall through the map. And
did you have a save before then? Was there like a save so you can at least replay it?
This was the first 5 minutes.
Oh, crap.
And so I pause it because I'm like, I'm wait a little bit. I think I go to the bathroom, come back. I'm still falling. So I have to restart the game, and then I have to do the whole thing over again. You can't skip it. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Turn it off. Get up in the morning and load it back up, and I get through the next part. It's because, half of it I was like, okay, just loading in.
Yeah.
The next 25 minutes was the same way. You cannot move and look at the same time. You're gonna ruin your experience.
And
if you're trying to move and look.
You played a few Switch Pokemon games, right?
I played, I think, every single one that's come out.
Like,
and they didn't have those problems. Like I said, I think I told you before, or when I got back, I wish I would have taken Arceus on that trip. I would have just played and beat Arceus. Yeah, rather than that.
Because you had Arceus, and you at least, and I know you had the Hey You Pikachu. Did you have the other generation one?
I did the other. I had the other remake they made.
The Brilliant, whatever, Sapphire or whatever it was. Oh no, Diamond and Pearl. Was it Diamond and Pearl?
I had that and then Arceus. I didn't play that one because a linear Pokemon game was boring after I played Arceus.
So which one?
The remake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a linear Pokemon game was boring once I played Arceus. Oh
yeah, once you can do like a big old open world situation, I can understand.
But it was still fun. But yeah, that game was horrible.
I don't know if you played any of these because this isn't really your wheelhouse, but the Grand Theft Auto trilogy, the definitive edition, was just unfinished, buggy. The weather effects were junked up.
I played one of them on Series X and had no problems.
The San Andreas one? I think San Andreas was on. And by the time you played it, they were able to patch it.
Oh, probably. Oh, yeah, that came out a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah. I never played it, but Balan Wonderworld, which kind of looked like an okay platformer thing, like for what it was. Like I'm okay with a cute platformer. I don't have no hate against that. It looked like it could have been interesting, but then they just flubbed it and it was unfinished. Yeah. Babylon's Fall. We're going to talk about Redfall. With Redfall recently, Jedi Fallen Order on PC specifically has had a horrible launch. And it's really shitty for those PC players that paid $75 on Steam to have an unplayable game.
Jedi Fallen Order.
I know you're enjoying
that game so much because I only paid $40 for it.
You're playing it on PS5, so you're having a great time with it. But it's just been crazy. So the point was that we're getting underwhelming games and unfinished games. There have been bright spots, like you're saying. Both the God of War, the 2018, which technically is last generation, but I think they did an upgrade patch and shit for PlayStation 5. And then God of War 2 or 7, whatever one you want to count it, Ragnarok. Obviously, people loved, what was it called? Elden Ring. Elden Ring was super popular. I know, like on release, like the Ratchet and Clank Drift Apart or whatever it's called, that one was good. Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Madden. Madden was solid. This last few years, the Madden have been solid.
They haven't. Well, it hasn't been unfinished.
Yeah, not unfinished. They at least can get it done in a year. For Forza Horizon 5, that was a good game. Like, there's been some bright spots, but a lot of games, when you see them come out, it's like, okay, is this actually going to be working when it comes out? And like these really big budget, like right now, the next Zelda is supposed to come out. Jesus Christ, if that thing is buggy, we're all going to be fucking pissed.
It's going to be.
Everyone's been waiting.
Nintendo. Nintendo hasn't made a good quality game from launch ever. At least on the Switch. Yeah. Like, you load it up and it's good.
I mean, the last Breath of the Wild, there was no problem.
Yeah, because it was a Wii U game.
That's true. That it was built on Wii U and then they remixed it to try to make it on Switch. That's the hope on this one, is that it's supposed to be better. But anyways, we're talking about games that are not working. So you don't have a rebuttal for that? You're
that's the truth. I think the only thing is that, once again, that's not new.
We've seen that. There's been bad games before.
We've seen that for a decade now.
There's been bad games and games that fall flat.
Like you said, Cyberpunk, that came out in 2019.
Yeah.
So that was the year.
The last generation.
Yeah. So
and that game was in development for like 10 years.
Yeah. Bad new games. I think one of the Assassin's Creed games, before they stopped making them every year, was horrible at launch. And
are you talking? Well, that's the last generation. Unity was a really poor one. But the other three were solid.
I'm talking about last generation.
Yeah,
it's not new.
Yeah, they've been finished. They're bloated, if anything.
One of the Call of Duties was horrible when it first came out.
And what's it called? Speaking of first person shooters, Battlefield.
Yeah, Battlefield was horrible.
Yeah, that one was really bad. So, and then I'm sure you're not. I don't know how you're gonna feel about this one, but we're back to the microtransactions.
I love me a good microtransaction.
I don't mind, like, lately, like, so some of the, I don't buy a lot of microtransactions, but like that Kakarot game that came out, I bought most of those story things, and but I wait and I get them on sale because
thing with microtransactions is just make it feel like it's worth it.
Yeah,
Like
that's the key.
Like, make it feel like it's worth it. Give me something that's like a great deal. You know?
I hate when it's like a new skin.
Extra.
I don't like new skins. I mean, on free to play games, we were
Even
talking
like-
about it's different, but
I'm like, even a new skin is like, just like Fortnite is great. If you buy the skin, it's like $10.
yeah.
But if you buy everything, it's only 20. Right?
Oh, like for the battle pass or whatever you're talking about, or
No, the battle pass is only 10. That's a good deal. But I'm saying like you talk about the LeBron skin. If you
Yeah.
buy the LeBron skin, it's gonna be $10. No, I think 8 now because they use their own store.
oh yeah.
So $8. If you buy the LeBron bundle, it's like 20. But that bundle comes with both LeBron skins.
Oh, they
The
do
back-
legacy skins like that.
What do you mean?
Like because what isn't some of the LeBron ones? Did they? I thought they stopped selling certain ones.
No, they do. But I'm saying like when it came out,
Oh, okay.
like you get the LeBron Space Jam one, and then the one in the suit. You also get the Taco Tuesday Braun, so it's both skins. You get the back bling, you get the glider, you get the hat, you get the celebration, all that stuff. So it's like at least make it look like it's worth it.
But like, I know you're somebody who does involve themselves in some of the practices that I find shady for gaming companies when it comes to like transactions and stuff, like the Madden cards. I
That's
think
a different story.
I think if you're a kid and you get caught up in that Madden, like you're an adult, so you know you make your money. If you want to buy the cards and do all the things and make the cards better or whatever, so you can play on MUT, that's one thing. But a 13-year-old is just begging their mom every few days for $10 or whatever to put towards MUT coins.
And the reality is that EA is one of the better companies out there with that, which is absolutely insane
That's
to
like
say.
disgusting.
But here's the thing: it's like if I spend $20 on all 3 sports games, I don't play FIFA. I'm not going to speak on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Even though I hear from the FIFA players that it's horrible, which is like, how would it not just be the same thing as Madden? I don't know. But it's like if I spend $20 on 2K, on MLB, and on MUT, on Madden, I'm going to get so much better stuff as far as what's in the packs, right? Excuse me. Like, it's just going to be, the packs are better and you get more. Like $20 in Madden is like, you can probably get like 5 or 6 packs for that. And you know, it just depends on what it is. Normally they'll have a bundle. They started this year having a bundle at $20. And so that is like 5 packs and 2 toppers. And the toppers are like 91 plus. When the highest card in the game is a 98. So it's nothing crazy, but it is something, right? Whereas on 2K, you spend $20 getting 3 packs and you're only guaranteed at 84 when the best cards in the game are 99s.
So yeah,
I don't even buy. I don't
I hate
even.
that stuff.
If I spend money on 2K, I spend money on 2K probably like once every 3 months after I build my player. And when I do that, I'm not gonna lie. I go to this website. I'm not gonna shout them out because they're not paying us. But I go to that website and I buy their coins illegally, and then I use the coins there because I'm not giving 2K my money to not have a playable team. If I spend the money on the game, I want to have a team I can use, right? And at least with Madden, it's like if I spend the money on those and they're absolute garbage, I can just quick sell them and roll those into new packs and then get coins that way, right? So it's not like you're ever stuck with nothing.
Yeah.
At some points in the game, there's some points where the training variety pack's not in the game, and then in the show, and the show is probably the best when it comes to knowing what you're getting. It's just horrible, but you know that.
Oh my gosh.
Like, and the show is cool because you can buy their coins. So EA and 2K, they both have their own money system.
Yeah.
Whereas like you have coins and then you have points. You have VC and you have MT. On SDS, what they do is it's all one currency. So the same currency you can buy is the same currency. You can use that same currency to buy packs, or you can buy just the player outright.
Oh, okay. They don't do like you need gold coins, but
No.
to get gold coins you have to buy silver coins, and then there's gems.
No,
Like, it's
none of that. You just need. It's all one. The only thing with that is like, yeah, you can go and buy Aaron Judge, right?
Yeah.
Aaron Judge 95 overall, diamond card for 100K. That 100K is $100, right?
Yeah.
So it's there. You can do that.
That's gross.
Well, they don't. Well, the thing is, they don't set the market. The players still set the
Yeah, but
market.
it's still gross that somebody would pay $100 for a fake card that only works for the 1 year.
No, but I'm saying there's not like a thing where it's, you have to buy the packs for
Yeah.
the chance to get him. If you want to spend the money to get that card, you can spend the money and go get that card.
Yeah.
You don't have to go through the middle of giving them packs to maybe get it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm saying, like, is it something you should do? Maybe, maybe not. But like, I know the content creators, they love it because
Oh yeah,
They
because
get-
then they can show it off.
write it off in their tax money, stuff like that. So they'll just spend the money just to get it, right? Rather than having to go through the packs and then do all that stuff.
Side note: how many of those situations is EA sponsoring content creators?
They're not.
Oh, they're not. It's
I
not
can tell
live.
you every single content creator does not get sponsored by EA because they don't like EA.
Oh, okay.
I mean, EA doesn't like them.
oh, even though they're like giving them a bunch of free press for their.
They don't care. They're gonna get it anyway, and because they all have sponsors with coin people,
Oh, okay.
because that's who will sponsor them. If EA did it, they would do that, but the EA doesn't. So, no, there's only one Madden YouTuber who I know who works with EA, and he is a he doesn't cover MUT. Like, he doesn't open packs and stuff. He's a news person.
Oh, it's just easier that way. It doesn't,
Yeah.
or it doesn't like have to. They don't
No,
have to get
I'm saying
involved,
like
or is that
that's
just how?
why he's
Oh,
working
that's
with
why.
EA because he does
Okay.
news. All the MUT people, they have to get the coins because it's their job.
Yeah.
Like, and if EA would make it easier, like, hey, here's this card to review, this and that, I'm sure they wouldn't be sponsored by these guys. But it's like they're paying the bills with the sponsorship money. EA, y'all don't want to do that, so it's cool.
Yeah, same thing like Nintendo. Nintendo don't sponsor
Yeah.
nobody because they think they have a lot of weird. I think it's like the Japanese culture about like ownership and what they want other people to be able to do with their property. I think it has to do something with that because anime gets a little weird, but then some. But anime's free too. But then like creators get weird. I don't know. I don't really fully understand it. But so do you have anything like pro or negative about your experience with this new generation, or
I have a hot take.
go ahead?
A major L for Xbox this generation has been,
Yeah,
but it's been a huge W for Microsoft.
yeah, I can understand that. Are you
But
talking about between?
for Xbox, it's been horrible.
You talking about as in like the name of Xbox and the branding versus like the money they're generating from like Game Pass and stuff?
Yeah,
or?
I mean, Microsoft obviously has a hit with Game Pass, right? Playing basically any game that was made in the last couple of years and some older things for one price is great. But it's like none of the Xbox games you put out have been good.
No.
They have no exclusives.
The only thing that like the games that I play on Game Pass are like smaller developers that I probably wouldn't have seen their game anyways, and I get a chance to enjoy their game on Game Pass. It's hardly ever a Microsoft or an Xbox game. Yeah, Game Pass is a beast, and I know it's running at a loss, but you know it's like Amazon, like. You know, they can afford to sell things super cheap to like run everybody out of business because they just have so much other money coming in.
Let's go. Let's see.
What are you looking at?
Forza, that's a W, right?
Yeah.
As far as being an exclusive.
Oh, you're looking at exclusive games that came out that were good. Oh,
And then I'm just going to tell you good and bad. Halo Infinite, major L.
yeah. The game, you know what? The bones of that game were good because I played through the campaign and I enjoyed it. And I played some of the. I bought the first pass or whatever battle pass, and I played through it. It was just it's so stale. Like, how long am I supposed to play the same game? Like for like 8 months at a time, play the same games at the same, and everybody already has the battle pass. And
Yeah. Gears 5.
I didn't like it. I got bored. I got bored within like the first few hours. I stopped playing it.
Yeah, and then guess what? Every other game on this list is an indie game. And it's like, cool. Like, I'm not shitting.
Is that the Xbox? Is that the Game Pass list, or is that the?
No, that's just a list
of releases on Xbox.
Exclusive Xbox games.
Oh, okay.
But like I said, I'm not shitting on indie developers. But at the end of the day, they're not going to make your console sell.
Mm. And
there's no indie game out there that's selling a console.
I'm thinking about that.
It just doesn't exist. I'm not saying they're not making great games.
No, because there's some amazing.
I'm saying they're not
games.
selling. You're not buying an Xbox to play that.
Yeah, no.
People bought PS5s to play God of War.
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is, and so it's been a major L for Xbox.
That's a really good point, because
obviously it does. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there was no Xbox Series XL.
Oh, like a beefed up version?
No, when the PS6 comes out.
Oh, okay.
Because they name, I don't know what the next generation will be.
It'll be another
Xbox Series Z. I wouldn't be surprised if there was none of that, and they just made a huge deal with Sony and put Game Pass on that, and put Game Pass on the Switch, and put Game Pass on PC.
Did you see,
especially with that deal got shut down, like
the guy that he runs Xbox, Phil Spencer? He was talking because they were like, "What happened with Redfall?" And he finally put out like the statement. I think he put out a video, and he was all like, "That's on me." They were so. What they are trying to do is be hands off with their studios, and they want their studios to like fulfill whatever thing that they're trying to do, and they're not trying to be like on them pressure and all that stuff. They're like giving them deadlines. They're depending on the developer to like, hey, go, okay, we're on track, we're going to be ready, and obviously they're not being ready because they've been getting hit game after game. And he said that like something interesting about like Xbox isn't competing against Sony and Nintendo in a console war, because they not only are they been in the business longer, but they have a way bigger foothold. And it doesn't matter if a good Xbox game comes out, people aren't selling their other system. Like, they're not selling, like there's not going to be an Xbox game that comes out that you're going to go, oh my god, I'm selling my PlayStation and I'm going to just have an Xbox from now on. It's people who are.
But here's the problem with that. Gamers, if you have a good game that is really good and people want to play it and it's on TikTok, you have a good game, a gamer will buy that Series S for $200 and play it. Because it's not just, you're not just getting that one game, right? Then there's other games for you to play. There's Game Pass right there, right?
Yeah.
So someone who's really into it and who really cares will get over that $200 hurdle, because that's your entry point to your ecosystem doesn't match with what you're saying.
They don't need to spend, they do have a low end.
They don't need to spend $500 to get an Xbox. You can get an Xbox in someone's house for $200.
And if the trend of what they're doing was what it looks like, Game Pass will be on TVs. It will. There may be a Fire Stick type dongle that is an Xbox branded thing, a Series Z or whatever, and you just plug it in and it's a streaming stick and it just does Game Pass and you just pay monthly. Like, that seems they're pushing like the Amazon thing, where like have as many devices with our stuff on it as possible and on every single thing that the people own. So,
and I mean, selling your software is how you make the bulk of your money, but I think they're missing the point that stuff doesn't exist without Xbox.
And without good games.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I have an Xbox Series X. I haven't touched it in like 3 months, because what am I going to play?
Yeah. I'm replaying God of War because there's nothing really to play on my Xbox.
Like, what am I about to play? I started playing Hot Wheels on there because it was a clean slate and you get all the DLC. But I've done like 3 missions. I play Forza every 3 weeks because it's a sandbox and I can just mess around on there. But there's nothing to play on it. Like,
and there's nothing exciting on the horizon. There's exciting stuff. PlayStation right now has set up a good next few years of releases, because or maybe just this year. I mean, already I haven't played it yet because so there is one game that I'm waiting to play, and if I get a PS5, and it's gonna be the Horizon games, because the first one was really good, and I want to play it at the top graphical, because I've seen God of War on top specs, and I'm like, oh my god, that does look fun.
Yeah, but the thing is like, you don't like Horizon as much as you like God of War.
I don't, but I do really like Horizon.
No, I mean like
the,
you like God of War so much,
yeah,
that you couldn't wait.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas Horizon, you're like,
I know that there's a great experience waiting there, but I couldn't wait for that. Like I couldn't wait for Miles Morales.
Yeah.
And as soon as I heard that it finally was gonna hit PS4, and I was like, I'm not getting PS5 for this.
You should have. That should have been your entry point. But they're gonna make another PS5 here soon.
Another system.
They're gonna put out a Slim.
Oh, I keep hearing conflicting
after.
things. I don't know if it's going to be a Slim or if it's going to be a Plus.
They've done both with the last two consoles.
That's true. They do like, a cheaper version.
Yeah, I don't think it's a you gotta choose thing.
Well, didn't they already? I've seen a product. Aren't they already making a detachable hard drive? And I think they might just go down to one SKU. So instead of having the disc and the diskless, they'll just have the diskless, and then you can add the drive if you want.
That sounds right. I don't know, it doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah, because I have the Xbox S, so it doesn't have a disk drive, and I was really kind of worried about that. Like, it felt a little uneasy to not have access to physical media, but it has only been a problem once. I was gonna borrow Elden Ring. Someone was like, "Oh, you can use it," but I thought they were gonna like sign in and download it. He goes, "Oh, I have a physical." And that was like, okay, that's where.
Yeah, and I know I'm about to. What's it called? I'm about to trade in 2 games to GameStop that I bought physical, and that's a pretty good feeling.
That's a good feeling, but when you're getting at least value or whatever value you feel like you should get from them.
Because it's like a game I don't play, and then once I'm done with Star Wars, I'm gonna take it to them because I don't really care.
Oh, because I mean, there's not a lot of replay of it.
Yeah, and it's like,
and if you get it done fast, you can at least get the max.
And if I get it done fast, I can make money.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you bought it for $40. So in conclusion, where are you falling? I feel as an entire like if I compare this generation to like the PS3, Xbox 360 generation, or if I look at the PS2 and Xbox situation, or what's the word? Not situation. I'm tired of words are hard. Generation. Thank you. I feel like we're not. The graphics are getting better, the processors are getting better, but we're not getting more fun games. We're getting like some mediocre games. If the indie people weren't around to like make like smaller experiences, I feel like we'd be really lacking. Like I feel like there's such a crutch on indie developers to make like fun, like the what do they call like the like Dead Cells, like these repeat games that you can get addicted to because they're fun, and if you can get into the gameplay loop, like you'll be into it. If we didn't have a lot of those, like even like Animal Crossing, where it's like all these like menial tasks that like I don't know if it's fun selling turnips, but you enjoy the process of like
selling turnips is fun because it's a gamble.
Yeah.
And that turnip price may not
or a Stardew Valley or something. Like if these games didn't exist, I feel like this generation would really, really, really have some problems.
We didn't even touch on the PS5 real quick. I'll just do it like this. Small picture, PS5, major success. Anytime you have people buying up all your consoles to sell them to other people, as far as marketing what you're doing something right.
I mean, like as the maker of the console, you're doing good because you're making the money.
Yeah,
on
you're
it,
making the money, but also people want your console.
There's a demand.
Yeah, and there's still people who haven't had that demand, right? Like you talk about Nintendo versus the other brands. It's like Nintendo is consoles to people is going this way.
Oh yeah, they're on the decline.
Xbox consoles to people is plateauing.
Yeah,
going down. PlayStation is still up here. It's not like this anymore.
Yeah,
you guys can see.
Yeah,
it's not like this anymore. But I think it's still going up.
Yeah, they're on it. For their part of the generation, they're still on the incline right now because they have good games coming out. They're gonna have Spider-Man 2, which that's gonna be a system seller. If they don't put on PS5 and they just put on, they don't put it on PS4 and it's strictly on PS5, that's a console seller. They had the Wolverine game that they're supposed to be doing, which hopefully would be coming out soon. There's another one. The Final Fantasy 16. Which is kind of, I feel like that game came out of nowhere. It feels like it takes them forever to do a Final Fantasy game, and this one they just like shot out, and it looks fun. They moved to action RPG. They have realized that the JRPG is boring to some players, and they want a massive fan base still. They want to sell 10 million copies or whatever, so they're making a cool ass action game. Especially I think because of the success of the Final Fantasy VII remake, where it kind of like goes back and forth between those elements. Was successful. PS5 is doing a good. It is succeeding in a failing generation.
Xbox, we already talked about. WL, fail, loss. In general, if you had to zoom out of the picture and look at everything, I would personally say that it's a success because you still do what you do with the pandemic. But because I don't know that you can count. I don't think it's fair, but I don't think it's fair.
There's
because
other world events that happen in other generations.
Not like that, though.
I mean, there has been chip shortages before. There has, because this is the way we have it all set up. But
not like that though. Like that's a big difference.
That was a big 2 year.
I don't think that this generation looks the way it does without
so
that.
Even if it's a failure, you could claim it's not its fault because of the pandemic. You can still plan on the pandemic. It could still be a failure.
Well,
even
then
though
I think
it has
it's
bad things that happen.
Then I think that's what it is. But I also just feel like you can't. The problem is that the games are suffering, I think, because of the PS4.
Oh, the holding on to the last generation situation.
Like, let's just say like this. Like I said, the PS4 came out underpowered, right? So you're having this underpowered console that's 10 years old, and you're making the same game that you're making a console that has 2019 specs with a console that has 2011 specs.
See, I don't know if I don't agree with your take that the PS4 is underpowered, because God of War 2018 was a great game.
Not having this conversation with you. Do some research.
Do some research?
Do some research.
Okay.
No, for real. Do some research.
I disagree.
You can.
That's fine. I can disagree. What are you gonna? You can't say I can't disagree.
No, you can't disagree on facts.
Oh my gosh. 1 second as we start Googling so we can prove our points. Did you know it's U.S. Teacher Appreciation Week? I need a Jamie.
PS5 Pro in development, could release late 2024. Wow. Nobody cares. People are complaining that the PS5 2 is already coming out and they don't even have a PS5 1. Don't care. This sounds like a scale issue.
So I found an article that talks about the Xbox. Let's see if it goes into the PlayStation. It says that the RAM on it was slow for the Xbox One, but that could have been the original, not the updated one.
You don't talk about the updated one. You talk about the original one.
It's act like it was going to do PS4, but it doesn't.
Well, this is just dead air.
So, various causes can cause PS2 slow. It could be slow net connection, lack of space on the hard drive. No, I don't know. You want me to prove your point, but I'm not finding it.
That's crazy. You ain't looking harder.
I'm not looking harder. This is your point. You're trying to make me prove your point.
I'll find a video and quote it.
Okay.
I got it from a YouTube video. I didn't get it from an article. But the person I got it from don't say no BS, so.
So we can't. We're not going to argue about this part. I'm deciding to not argue about this part.
I wouldn't want to argue with me either.
Because you're just restating facts that you may have heard on a YouTube video, but when I Google, I'm not finding anything that you're talking about, and you don't even have actual points. You just have something that somebody actually heard, and then you're just like, "Well,
it
it's
is
facts."
true.
It's true because you might have heard it
No,
on a YouTube video.
optimization doesn't equal quality.
What are you talking about?
You were talking about God of War running great.
Yeah.
Like, that's an achievement.
Yeah.
Apple makes the iPhone 6s run great with iOS 16 in 2023. Optimization doesn't equal quality. That doesn't mean it's a good product or that it's not underpowered. It means that it's
Optimization only
optimized.
comes from time. Like,
You're right.
first
So the
P-
last game that they put on the PS4 running great is not a surprise.
No, but I'm saying
Compare
But
a
if you're
compare a normal PS3 game to The Last of Us. Like, come on, the last game that they make, of course,
But
is going
that
to be
power
great.
was there the whole time. It just took time to figure out how to utilize everything. It doesn't mean it's underpowered. It just means it's a new type of piece of hardware that people don't
But
know
I'm
how to
not
develop
getting that
before.
from the quality of the games. That's not why I'm saying that.
Then what are you saying then? What's the evidence?
That the PS4 was weak.
you're dumb.
I'm not dumb.
You're just saying you just say things
I'm not just saying things.
and then
I'm gonna-
you have no.
You.
Oh, okay, later you'll show me a YouTube
I'm gonna
video.
be so real with you. I'm gonna tell you guys exactly what happened. He sent me one text about what we were talking about, and it was like, cool. Didn't say nothing else about the points. Gave me no time to research. I would have found what I'm
You had
talking
a
about.
whole week to
You,
come
but
up.
I'm saying you just said, what do you think about this idea? And I was like, cool.
Now you're.
That's not going.
You had a
over what-
whole week to get anything you wanted.
when I got notes for the show, I send you the notes. It's a screenshot or it's just in our text thread. You should have put that in the text thread so I would know what you're talking about. And I mean that so seriously, as in how am I supposed to know what we're
Well,
talking
what
about?
did you put in your own notes that you brought for the podcast?
Nothing. That's my whole point. Is what I'm telling you.
So you're blaming me that I didn't give you my notes that I got. For
No,
the
I'm not
points that I
saying
was
you
gonna
should
make.
give me your notes. I'm saying if we're gonna have this conversation, you should have let me know what the questions are being asked on these
The
debate style
question,
shows.
there wasn't the question. That was the question.
I'm sorry.
Whatever was going to come of it was going to come of it. I can't control the flow of the conversation
But you did by having your set points
because
that we talked about.
I only had because I was the only one prepared. If you were prepared with your own notes, then we would have talked about the things that you prepared.
That's not what I mean. I'm not talking about your personal notes.
We almost
I'm
into this.
saying you had-
we almost into this on a decent note.
You had the points that you were going to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have an opinion on both sides.
Yeah, and then
I'm
you're trying to
saying
put your
you should
opinion
have
as
told
fact
me
with no
what
fact.
those like the different categories we talked about. That's what I'm saying. Not your points. The different categories we talked about.
You're the one that brought up the PS4 underpowered.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not talking about what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying you had this idea. It should have been, okay, we're going to talk about this, this, and this. Because that's how these debate shows work. So then I can get my own list of things.
Well,
Because if just in general, what, I'm just supposed to go off the in general topic?
Yeah. Thank
That
you.
sounds like a
for-
producer issue.
Thank you for.
That sounds like a skill
If you
issue.
if you watched this mess into the end, thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
And we will see you on this next episode of Some Nerd Stuff. Messy fights. You guys have a good one.